Coming up on The Potter's Touch.
That is how a soul sounds when you want to escape the parameters of your situation. Let me hear it again. That's in that man sitting next to you. That's in that woman right behind you. That's in your sister to the left. That's what's going on in this choir stand back here. That's what's happening on the praise team. You may not see my lips moving, but my soul is saying,
this is the Potter's Touch.
greetings, friends. I'm excited to share this word with you. I love this. I love this. I love it. It's called the Lion's Lair. I believe it's going to really speak to you. As uncomfortable as the cage is, life outside of the cage can test your limitations. When you get out there and you see how big the world is out there, if you're not careful, the enemy will run you back to the cage. Don't you let him do it. You may have to rest a little while. You may have to learn how to be at home in your new environment. But don't give up on what God gave you. Hang in there. Take a look at this. There is a war that I want you to see between your instincts and your experiences. Your instincts might say, go for it. But your experiences say, you remember the last time you... Your instinct says it's time to evolve. But your experiences say, at least you know what's going on where you are. Stay here where it's at. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one who has arguments with myself. Your experiences form your intellect. You are informed by the things you experience and draw conclusions based on something you experienced, you saw, or you read. That becomes your background, your intellect. Your instincts sense something you have yet to touch. You got me? So there you are, betwixt and between two things. You're being fed from two streams of consciousness. One thing says, now based on everything you know about this situation, you better stay right here. And yet, that's what your experiences say. And your instincts say, there's gotta be something beyond this cage. There's gotta be something beyond this case. There's gotta be. Don't tell me that I came here and I was born and I lived and died to simply do this. I'm tired of living in this box. It's safe, but I'm not satisfied. Anybody safe but not satisfied? I wanna teach how to get out of the box without killing yourself. The lion who was raised in captivity, all of his experiences inform him that this is the world, because that's all he experienced. They feed at 2 o'clock. My water trough is over here. I can walk 10 feet this way, and I can walk 10 feet back this way. This is the world I grew up in. But my instincts keep telling me, there's something beyond this cage. How do I get to that? If they release me all at once, what is hunting? I've never hunted before. What is a gazelle? I've never had to live with baboons and gazelles and elephants and rhinoceros. I have lived in a controlled environment all my life. And yet, there's something pushing me to go beyond. I want to take a leap, but I'm afraid. When I grew up in West Virginia, when the old folks, old G's were getting ready to fight, they say, don't make me leap on you. I'll knock you out. The other one say, You may leap over here, but you're going to limp back. And what I knew is anytime people talk that much smack, neither one of them want to fight. How then shall we begin? Let's get this started. Are you ready? The leap. The leap is where we start our battle. Transitions are important. Nobody teaches you how to transition. How do you transition from being single to being married, from being a renter to being an owner, to go from being a taker to being a giver? There are no classes on how you leap from being an employee to an entrepreneur. People trying to figure this out right now. It is clear by the JAKES cage that every trainer knows that domestication isn't a natural phenomenon. Domestication is not a natural phenomenon for the lion, whose wild nature precludes him from ever being comfortable in the cage. Yet even though his instincts are for the wild, he has to overcome the abusive background that has been his home. His instincts are for the wild, but he has to overcome the abusive background that has been his home. Now, I know you don't think it's abusive because you're not a lion. Because from the spectator's perspective, you go to watch the lion for entertainment. But your entertainment is his incarceration. And yet, if he has been raised in captivity, his background is so abusive, but it has become so natural that how do I get out of an abusive background when it has become my norm? You're living in a zoo, and somebody benefits from your captivity. Even if the only benefit is for the sake of what they call normal, they like to keep you in a certain little box, and we'll come watch you move around the box and don't do anything different and don't go anywhere else and stay right here in this cage. And all of a sudden you start coming and hearing this old country preacher from West Virginia teaching about instincts, and you dare to believe that you can get out. Touch your neighbor and say, you can get out. Just because something is familiar doesn't mean that it's natural. I said, just because it's familiar doesn't mean that it's natural. It doesn't mean that it's right. His instincts is to leap to freedom, but intelligence requires that he gradually make the transition. I want to talk to people who are making transitions this morning. Anybody making transitions, hold your head up. Yeah. Tell your neighbor, I'm in the middle of a transition. Experiences contradict instinct. Experiences contradict instinct. Experiences contradict instinct. Experience contradicts instinct. Experiences contradict instinct. You come to church, you get some other stimulus that stirs your instinct to move somewhere that your experiences say that's not for you. Your instincts are calling you to move into a realm that your experiences do not validate. You haven't been trained for that. You don't have the right resources. You don't have the right money. You waited too late. You're too old. You're too short. You're too fat. You're too dark. You're too light. You're too bald-headed. Your nose is too wide. You can't do that. You don't have the background for it. You didn't come from the right side of the tracks. Your parents didn't raise you like that. You come from this. All of that is the cage that holds you in incarceration from going to the next level. But somebody's made up in their mind they want to go. Anybody want to go? But what are my options? Is my only option to either stay in the cage or leap into the wild? Because if I leap into the wild, look at what I don't have. I don't have the skills. I don't have the training. I don't have the background. I don't know how to hunt. I don't know how to fight. I don't know where to drink from. My instincts are calling me to what is organic and natural for me, but my experiences have not prepared me for the opportunity that stands in front of me. And so I stand here caught and betwixt and between two opinions. Something in me is telling me to go ahead, and something in me is telling me to stay back. Something in me telling me I can do it. Something in me says I better be careful. Something in me says break out into the wild and figure it out as you go. Something in me says if you go out of that cage, you're gonna die. This is all you know. This is where you came from. This is what you got. And I'm stuck between opportunity and abuse. If I stay in this cage, I will validate the abuse that has been perpetuated on me all of my life, and I suffer for your entertainment. I suffer for your entertainment. I suffer for your entertainment, bound by fear, and fear has torment. I'm in the cage, but I'm afraid to get out. It's not that I don't want to get out. I don't know how to get out. I'm afraid to get out. Last time I tried to get out, they caught me and brought me back. How can I get out? Am I talking for anybody in this room? And the real question is, there is something between staying and leaping. There is something between working your job and quitting your job and starting a business with no money. There is something between being single for 40 years and jumping into a marriage. This is about whatever your cage is. Everybody in here has a cage. It may be a spiritual cage. It may be a moral cage. It may be an emotional cage, but everybody in here has a cage. David says we were born in captivity. He says it this way, verbatim: we were born in sin, shapen in iniquity. We were born in the box. What do I do when all of my experiences validate my incarceration? And yet my instincts keep nagging me in this cage, saying there's something out there for you. I go to the bars, and I growl. I go back and look at it again, and I back up again. I go to church, Monday morning, Monday morning, I'm back in the cage again. Let me hear that roar again. Let me hear that. That's what's roaring down inside of somebody sitting next to you right now. That is how a soul sounds when you want to escape the parameters of your situation. Let me hear it again. That's in that man sitting next to you. That's in that woman right behind you. That's in your sister to the left. That's what's going on in this choir stand back here. That's what's happening on the praise team. You may not see my lips moving, but my soul is saying.
Still to come on the Potter's Touch.
But the Lord said, when you get over this hurdle, the sun is going to shine upon you. I don't know what your hurdle is, but he says if I tell you, you will know who you are. Whatever that hurdle is that you're trying to get over right now to be free, I prophesy to you right where I stand that when you come over the top of the mountain, the sun is going to be shining on your face.
MegaFest 2015 is more than a festival. It's an experience.
This is MegaFest.
From August 19th to the 23rd, MegaFest is taking over Dallas, an extravaganza for the whole family.
And 100% pure fun.
There is something for everyone. Visit mega-fest.com to find event updates and to make reservations. This experience is one you don't want to miss.
Give me my second point. The limp. You may leap over here, but you're gonna limp back. Transitions are important. And transitions are tough. It is not easy to go through the process without pain. Go to Genesis 32 for a minute. I want you to look at something. Genesis 32:27. And he said unto him, what is thy name? Who are you? Have you ever wondered who you are? Are you the one in the cage? Or are you the one in the wild? Are you Jacob, the trickster, like your mama? You know, your mama was slick, Jacob. Are you slick like your mama, Jacob? Or like your Uncle Laban? Are you slick like Laban? All of your kinfolks are sneaky, Jacob. And here God asks you, who are you? And he says, my name is Jacob. He says, I guess I am who they call me. Jacob means trickster. Just because somebody called you something, just because somebody said something about you or did something to you or took something from you doesn't mean that they get the right to define your destiny based on your history. Oh, this is good. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob. Thy name shall be called no more Jacob. Thy name, oh, woo, it's gonna be hard. It's hard because I feel something. I'm trying to teach, but I feel something. Thy name shall be called no more Jacob. Say that with me. Thy name shall be called no more Jacob. Say it again. Thy name shall be called no more Jacob. Say it again. Thy name shall be called no more Jacob. Now, this time when you say it, instead of saying Jacob, whatever label they put on you, say it that time. Thy name shall be called no more. Broke, slow, inferior, intimidated, insecure, unreliable, selfish. You'll never be nothing. You're just like your daddy. You'll never get up. Nobody would ever want you. Nobody would ever love you. Hey, I got news for you. Thy name shall be called no more. You mean I am not defined by where I came from? No, you are Israel. There's a prince roaring in you. For as a prince has our power with God and with men and has prevailed. Beneath whatever it is you're fighting, there's a prince roaring in you. That's why you couldn't stay in the cage. That's why I gave you a chance to get out. Because in the middle of the night, when you cried unto me, it sounded like roaring. It sounded like thunder. It sounded like lightning. It sounded like power. And I heard your roaring in the cage. And I brought you up on the mountain to tell you, you are not who they say you are. You might have done what they say you did, but you are not who they say you are. There is a prince in you, His name is Israel. I want you to get acquainted with him rather than to acquiesce to what they call you. I want you to meet the inner lion inside of you that is roaring to get out. You are not Jacob. Your name is Israel. You have prevailed with God. I feel like I'm prophesying to somebody. I don't know who it is, but whatever they named you, you are not that anymore. May I tell you right now that this Sunday morning is a witness that your gate is open and your soul has escaped. Now, let us be clear that when this is over, verse 30, Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face and my life is preserved. Verse 31, and as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him. When you get past this, the sun is going to rise upon you. The sun is going to rise upon you. The sun is going to rise upon you. When you get over this hurdle, gosh, I'm trying to teach, but I feel so prophetic, I can't hardly stand it. I don't know who this is. I don't know whether you're on the internet, I don't know whether you're streaming in, but the Lord said, when you get over this hurdle, the sun is going to shine upon you. I don't know what your hurdle is, but he said, if I tell you, you will know who you are. Whatever that hurdle is that you're trying to get over right now to be free, I prophesy to you right where I stand that when you come over the top of the mountain, the sun is going to be shining on your face. The limp is not designed to cripple you, but the limp is designed to remind you how much freedom costs. The limp is a telltale sign that you didn't get here without struggle. You didn't get here without pain. And I will let you run with the rest of the lions. But when you run, you're going to be limping. And I meant for you to limp. This is not the devil. I meant for you to limp. I designed your limp to make you humble, to make you thankful, to make you grateful. Are there any limpers in the house? Every time you want to get puffed up, I want you to just remember what it cost you to get out of that cage. And when others are high-minded and self-righteous, I just want you to promise me that you'll lay on your face before me and thank me for delivering you out of your cage. I left your limp as a reminder that if it had not been for the Lord that was on your side, you would have been swallowed up. Oh, God, oh, God. I wish I had a limping servant in the house. Somebody who limped their way into your blessings and limped your way into owning your house and limped your way into holding your family together and limped your way into your promotion and limped your way into business. And you can't ever get high-minded because you know that it was just yesterday you were stuck back in the cage. Limping is a part of the process. Limping is a part of the process. He humbles you in the process. He brings you to your knees in the process. He's going to make you need him in the process. That's why I was leaning on you, because I need you in the process. See, I was fighting you. Jacob was fighting it. And now the very God he's fighting, he's now leaning on, saying, I need you because my hip is out of joint. I'm not made like other folks are made. And I gotta lean like other folks wouldn't have to lean. Help me through the process. Touch 3 people and say, help me through the process. I've got to stop, but I want you to understand that you were born with an innate instinct to survive life in the jungle. Your gate is open, your purpose is in front of you, and no matter what other predators exist in the jungle and the opportunity that God has given, don't you let nobody run you away from your dream, away from what God told you is yours. He has given you the land to possess it. Stop running from it. Rise up and be who God has called you to be. And if you need strength and instruction, if you need to prepare the people around you for what you see inside of you, why don't you get a delegation, a team of people that you are leaning on and bring them to the Pastors and Leadership Conference? It's an international meeting of mammoth proportion. It helps people to think globally and to think outside of the box. It's not just you, your team needs to experience it too, because sometimes you're trying to lead them someplace and they're trying to incarcerate your progress because they want to keep it like it was. It's time to go to the next level. Join me April 30th through May the 2nd. Our International Pastors and Leadership Conference will send you back on fire. Before I die in a cage, I want to run in the wild.
To understand what it is to be a pastor.
They can hear the life-changing message that and the education.
You're frustrated about something that's just an incubator to take you to the next dimension.
Now we're going to grow and go to global missions. No more limits, no more boundaries.
To register for this international gathering, visit pastorsandleaders.org or call 1-800-BISHOP2.
Religion always gazes at where it last saw God, but relationship moves beyond history to destiny.
Bringing resurrection power to your stagnant situation. Purpose in motion.
God only asks you to pray to bring you into agreement. He doesn't ask you to pray so that he can get information. What do you know that heaven is unaware of?
For your gift of any size, you will receive the God Has Moved On CD from the Purpose in Motion series. And for your gift of $75 or more, you will receive the Purpose in Motion 3 DVD set.
It's not just that you have a testimony, you are a testimony. Anybody been through what you've been through and you still alive to tell it?
However, for your gift of $160 or more, you'll receive the Purpose in Motion series on DVD, large print Bible, and an everyday reminder of God's faithfulness. It's time to move forward. Put your purpose in motion.
You can go ahead and relax. You will see them no more. You can't enjoy where you are for worrying about losing what you've got. And it is your fear of losing it that is taking it from you. If you would rest in it, you could possess it.
This is the part.